before, let's just say this guy Weinstein comes and gropes you, and you know his pull, his get down. What do you do?
Again, I think that's making an informed decision. There's a popular lady, Angelina Jolie, and she's came out and said that she was one of the victims of Harvey Weinstein. Now, again, you making an informed decision about your career. Now, are you going to get up the cootie cat to be able to move your career to the next level? Or are you going to bow down and stick to your morals and say, no, I'm not going to give up the cootie cat. I'm going to stick to my morals. And if that means that I'm just not going to get this star level job or this A level listing because I want to stick to my morals, that you're making an informed decision about your life. So again, I'm not faulting anybody's life decision. If that's what you had to do to make it to the top, then hey, you did that, Angelina Jolie, and there's no one to judge you. But then again, there's other ladies that step forth and said, I was raped. I was held down against my will. I was raped. I yelled and screamed and people turned away. Now that is not a conscious decision. You're making a decision for that woman. You're taking something versus she's giving it up as
okay.
an
fine.
Even exchange.
Okay. Now we go into let's just pull it back. Well, let's talk about groping.
Well, again, like I said, the same thing about Donald Trump. He's groped the right one because if you grope the right woman, she finna throat punch you. Well, she don't care how much money that you got.
We're not talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about one of these, like Ron Howard. Is Ron Howard still living? Ron Howard. We're talking about these guys.
Yeah.
We're talking about these guys that can make your career. And what if you just walk by and keep going?
Yeah, you finna pay me, homie. Yeah, I don't have no signed NDA. And if you're not in the industry, a non-disclosure agreement means that I can talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. And I don't have no NDA. I'm finna tell everybody that you done groped the titty without permission.
Sir. I think I need to set this up a little bit more. And I'm going to need
my money.
Let me set this up a little bit more. Have you ever, I'm sure you have. Have you ever been to a screening?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just talk. I'm sure you have, but I'm going to ask for the purpose because we're going to, you've been to a screening.
Yes.
And you go around, free cocktails, everybody walking, whining and dining, and you see actors and actresses just roaming around, rooftop parties. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody walk. Mm-hmm. I think this is where all this kind of stuff all the stuff goes on. You let's just say you were B-listed, and you were in a corner, and Blase and Spike Lee was to come by and he just tap you, and that's Spike Lee. That's not an informal. That's really not an informal decision you're making. That's kind of like I don't know what it is. You're a woman. You tell me what is it when a woman doesn't respond? What type of pressure is that? Because this is her house. This because one phone call, one rumor, one thing will ruin your career, and your ass will be back at Sears. Now, what if you don't want to go back to Sears? This is your life. This is the Oscars. This is what you want. You want this. So the type of pressure they're under when you got these powerful men, excuse me, walking around, groping, grabbing, and not saying anything. I think this is what's the main thing. Not saying anything. Men with power really don't have to say much. They don't have to say much. Then, wow, that was Spike Lee that just grabbed my ass. That. Are you gonna be motherfucker? More than likely you're not.
Well, again, it depends on the woman. So I have some friends that be like, hey, Spike Lee just grabbed that ass. And then I have other friends that be like, this nigga got me fucked up. And we'll get to go on Facebook Live like this just in. You see this nigga? Right. This 4-eyed nigga right here to the right, he just grabbed my ass. Hello, breaker 19. Again, it just depends on the woman and how she feeling at that time.
And I'm sure Terry Crews at that time he was C- B listed. And it's not you there. No one goes A unless you The Rock. And even Kevin was B listed. He was CB. The Rock is really the only one I know that went from wrestling to A. To A listed actor. He's the top paid movie actor in the world. But I'm just saying, if you're talking about someone like Terry Crews who's really working his way up and he's really building this block. to get there. And then once you start building your block, you start knowing these directors and these casting, you know, like Robbie Reed, all these top-notch casting directors and producers and directors. You try and get in with them. This is the type of stuff that goes down. This is the type, and it's just now that the tent is falling. Now everybody's coming out and saying, well, he grabbed me too. He grabbed me too. But the type of pressure those women are under at that time, again, I can't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just asking you to be in the mind frame of somebody who doesn't want to go back to that life where they're punching in the clock, because I'm sure Taraji P and them, they like their little life. They're not gonna see, I mean, they've done a couple little films here and there, and I'm sure that it's just a couple more movies or a couple more breaks before they just break out into that big rollout, and then they may not want to ruin it by just because somebody groped them. And those are the decisions a lot of women are making too. Like, it was just until it gets disrespectful.
Again, and I'm sure that there is a fine line, because the casting couch is a known part of the Hollywood industry. So if you might give up a grope and act like it never happened, versus if he said, hey, you're going to meet me in the trailer and you're going to give me a blowjob, and then I'll think about you getting that leading role. Now, again, that's an informed decision. How bad do you want that role?
I don't think I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm not gonna even lie.
Somebody be getting them knees dirty.
You'll suck some
Again,
dick. You'll suck some dick to get that.
You can't do it and complain. So this is the reason why a lot of these women don't say anything. There it is. Exactly. You can't suck and then fuck and then complain like, hey, that was unfair. Well, you swallowed and everything, girl. So move right along. And I'm a woman.
That's right, DJ Bankhead.
That's the business.
Look it up.
Oh my God.
Maybe we're not up. He'll let us know we up.